Hello. It has been a while since uploading in general, but since I've uploaded something with my voice in it, I am here today because I have been urged to create Maxley content. I don't know when I'm gonna get this video out, but right now it is the beginning of July. And for like the past month, Maxley, which is the ship between Max Goof and Bradley Uppercross III from the Extremely Goofy movie, that has been blowing up all over TikTok. And so everyone is doing like human designs, or kind of like in their art style of Max and Bradley. And that's beautiful. And like, disclaimer, I'm not here to like crap on anybody's art. Of course, like there's all these talented artists and stuff, but just like I'm talking about my personal opinion. And my personal opinion is that some people make Max like conventionally attractive, and I don't know, that just doesn't sit right with me. Like, they make his teeth look perfect, but they like put piercings in place to represent them, and like that's fine. But as someone, I didn't think this would be a serious video, it's not, but like as someone who has weird teeth, as someone who has an overjet, I loved those movies as a kid because, I don't know, I was just like, wow, that's me. And yeah, kind of the entire point is that he hates it, but you know, by the end of like the first movie, he's gotten with Roxanne and she's like, I like your goofiness. And so, I don't know, I just like it. So seeing people like replace that with piercings and like making him more like conventionally attractive, I don't like it. So I'm here to do my own Max design. I will not be doing Bradley because his human design is just like without the ears and nose, like honestly. Anyway, so that is my introduction. And I'm going to go through my process now. So I started off, of course, with getting some reference images. And truly, like, I just need to say again, I loved these movies so much as a kid, and to be honest, whilst I was preparing for this video, I didn't even realize I did this, but I was listening to After Today from the first movie, and I didn't even realize. So I started off with this kind of like 3/4 angle, and I knew that I wanted the art style to still be, you know, a bit more cartoony than I would normally do because like he is a Disney character, it is a cartoon. I wanted to like keep that. So I wanted the space between like his forehead and his cheek, I wanted that to be a definite dent. Like I wanted him to be very like definitely shaped. But then I decided that wasn't working out, and so I looked at the picture of him facing forward and I thought, okay, that's kind of the shape I was going for, and then I decided to do a front facing one instead. And immediately, because I had half done a different angle, like it was a bit asymmetrical, thrown off, but whatever. I knew I wanted him to have a big nose as well because, you know, he does. I had his eyes in that expression to start with because I was kind of like, he is not amused. Like, he spends half of any movie he's in unamused. But then I was like, no, I don't like it. So I opened his eyes a bit more. Did that, and then this isn't exactly line art, it's more like a cleaner sketch. That's okay, that's what we're here for, it's the process. I also thought, how do I want to represent his ears? And I was like, stretches. Because some people do that in a character design, and it's like, yes, it looks cool, but does it actually fit with the character? But I think this does fit with Max. And so I kind of colored it. I also thought, like, how else can I do his ears? And I was like, I should give him, like, a mullet. Because that, like, visually, that kind of looks the same. I wanted to give him like a little bit of under eye creases, like I don't know, he's tired. He give him a break, you know. And also big ears in general as well as the stretches. Anyway, did some shading, highlighting. Look, I was doing this at 2 a.m. I don't know what was happening. So there you have it. That is my first draft, but I ultimately decided I did not like it and I wanted to do it again. And spoiler alert, I do it 3 times. Maybe a fourth, I don't know. I am recording this at the time where I have only done 2, and I'm planning to do another one, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so I started off with the other one, you know, kind of underneath, because like I didn't want to change it that much, and I'd already done all the work. Like I didn't want to go through all that again. Like I'm choosing my own work. I think it's okay. I also noticed that he was a bit leaning Tower of Pizza. He was a bit wonky, so I straightened him out a bit. But anyway, I immediately knew that I wanted his eyes to be closer together. I mean, in the original art style of the movies, they are literally touching. But I wasn't going to do that because it is meant to be more human. But still, I wanted to represent that, so I thought he looks a bit like Sid the Sloth in the other one, so, you know, I wanted to not do that. So I had his eyes a bit close together. I also thought my view for the original was to have a very slim bridge of his nose and like a bigger rest of it, but I decided I didn't like how that looked and I gave him a bit of a wider bridge this time. I also made his ears smaller, but I have been told by, you know, a couple of friends that they actually liked his ears in the first one better, so I guess in the third one I'm probably going to make them bigger again. I don't know why, but I did the ears very unevenly. Anyway, not the point. For his clothes, I thought obviously he needs to have the red t-shirt, but I also like the idea of him having a black shirt underneath to represent his fur, and also it's just the vibe. You know, he was a skater boy. She said, "See you later, boy." Speaking of, you know, like, where was Roxanne in the second movie? Where was she? Maybe that's why everyone's shipping him with Bradley, because he didn't have a love interest, because Roxanne is, I don't know. And then in Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, which had the most horrific 3D art, respectfully, he had this random chick called Mona. And like, why was it even Max and Goofy? Because I know he's like an adult, like a full adult now, but like, where was the Max? Like, the only Max thing he did was get embarrassed by his dad. Like, that's boring anyway. Back to the art. So yeah, I kept the clothes. Like, it was mostly his face and hair I was changing, I think. Speaking of his hair, I thought I liked the mullet vibe, but I did not like how stiff his hair looked in the first one. So I made it look, you know, a bit more fluid. My main goal for this one was to make everything look more cohesive and give it more movement. That's also what I did with like the top of his hair. And in addition, I don't know what is happening with like the proportions of this drawing, because every time I tried to put his hairline on, like with his sideburns, they just wouldn't fit because of the eyes, and I need to fix that, but I did it better in this one. But as I said, I will redo this again later. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I just thought this was inherent to drawing Max as a human. Like, keep his hairline, keep it the way it is, it's iconic. I've seen a lot of people give him vitiligo. I don't know if that's how you say that. Please don't cancel me. I really like that idea. Also, his teeth. I don't know what I did in that first one, but I made them like grey for some reason. And like, I know I said I didn't want him to be conventionally attractive, but like that was a bit much. I love a tooth gap in character design. And I also made his eyes brown because, you know, his eyes are black, closest color. But anyway, I had back in some highlights. I didn't want to do shading, because I couldn't be bothered, because I knew instantly I was going to redraw this, and also because it's just closer to the original style. So that is my second attempt. It's much better. I think I'm going to keep his face. That is all for now. On to the third drawing.
One eternity later.
Hello. So I started this video in July of 2024, and it is currently April 2025. And if you know me, this isn't strange. I'm never finishing projects. But usually I would just toss it aside with all my other unfinished work. But you know what? I randomly got the urge to edit the audio and the video together today. And I was like, yeah, okay, so now I need to do this third design that I've been yapping about for this whole video. But then I was like, I can't be bothered. And I was like, why should I make myself? Like, this is just a silly little video that I wanted to make. And like, forcing myself to do anything would take all the fun out of it, right? So I'm going to do something that I've basically never done, which is release this video when it's not as finished as I want it to be. Because honestly, I know I'm posting on a public channel, and if anyone sees it, like, thank you. I hope you enjoy. But honestly, I use my Instagram and my YouTube channel more like a time capsule for me. I can go back and say, what thing was I obsessed with in 2018, you know? So yeah, I'm going to release this. There is no third design, and yes, I know, I'd just like to acknowledge I could just cut out all the times that I said that, but you know what? I can't be bothered doing that. And it would be lying. And also, I think it's funny. So, there you go. I'd like to finish off super quickly, just reiterating. I know I've said this entire time that I didn't want him to be conventionally attractive, and I've been adding features like having a big nose and having a tooth gap and having big ears. I would like to say I'm in no way saying that those features are ugly. I think you can be not conventionally attractive and still very beautiful, very handsome, or very whatever. I'm just saying that some of these artists have been taking away the features that make him Max Goof to make him comply more with those societal beauty standards. Like, look at his design. He has a tooth gap. He has a big nose and big ears, if you want to count that, because, you know, he's a dog. So I'm in no way saying that those features are ugly. I'm just saying that they are part of his design, and I think if you're going to make him human, you should keep those features. And maybe society is stupid and they don't think that those are beautiful, but I do. And if you have those and you're watching this, I think you're beautiful. And that's about all I have to say. I hope you like this if you have stumbled across it, you know, a year after the trend. And drink water and have a good day or night or whatever you're doing.